right now at 6.
Wet and heavy. Oh, yeah, that's heavy.
This winter seems to be continually trying to outdo itself.
I think everybody's sick of winter this year. It's been so cold.
We've got the latest forecast and what you need to know about the roads before heading out the door.
Now, from WCCO 4 News, this is Eye on the Storm.
It is Friday morning, and if you're about to head out, you might want to consider dog sledding into work. It's probably going to be faster this morning. Since the snow first started falling at noon yesterday, we've had between 8 and 12 inches of snow in the Twin Cities. We have got an awesome team following the biggest snowfall of the season for you. Rachel Slavic in the only vehicle of its kind, the mobile weather watcher, giving you a real-time look. Natalie's got her eye on conditions across the metro roads. Mike tracking the storm from the Weather Center. But first, let's go to the WCCO rooftop where Jamie and Matt Brickman are standing by.
Yeah, Jason, I think the real story at this hour this morning is just how cold it is getting out here. That wind really picking up, especially in the last hour or so. I can tell you temperatures have dropped. I had my coffee out here with me this morning. Take a look at that. It is frozen solid. I only got about halfway through and it froze right into that cup. Just a mess of a day, too, for people that are getting up and might have to shovel. I've stuck this shovel in, and now we're starting to get drifts because of that wind. And this shovel is stuck in this heavy, heavy, heavy snow. You can get it out for a second. Todd, our photographer up here this morning, was kind enough to clear a path for us overnight. Took him 3 times to shovel where I'm standing overnight, and a 4th time this morning. So if you shoveled last night, give yourself some extra time because, as Jason knows firsthand, it takes quite a bit of time to get even out of the driveway. It took him about 40 minutes to clear all that out, and then you hit the roads and it's a mess. Mike,
Jamie,
you've been busy.
Yeah, I ran into the same thing. I live in a condo building downtown. Don't have a snow blower. We have underground parking.
Sure.
But the gentleman who helped me out this morning, Mike Woods, gets a big thank you for realizing that I'm getting up early and heading into work while everybody else is asleep. He woke up early on his own, broke out the snow blower, and got me free of 2 feet of snow that the plow had left at the end of the driveway. This morning, the snow is pretty much done falling in most areas. The Twin Cities set to get maybe an additional coating to an inch or so of snow. Mostly northern Minnesota and northern Wisconsin will see steadier snow continue through the day today, with maybe an additional 1 to 3 inches of snow up there. But then you go to south central Minnesota, southwestern Minnesota, and it's going to be a sunny day with that sun already breaking out as we head towards sunrise, which happens in about 40 minutes or so. Visibilities are up. That's good news. That means the blowing snow, the heavy snow, not as big of a travel factor, but there is still a blizzard warning in effect through noon for parts of the Minnesota River Valley down into south central Minnesota and parts of southeastern Minnesota. That's because that wind is not going to quit, Natalie, and the snow that's already on the ground is going to continue to blow around, drift, and create some real headaches on the roads. And you've been showing us that all morning.
All morning, Mike, and it's just going to continue all day. All the snow, by the way, means snow emergencies are in place around the Twin Cities. Call 266-PLOW for more information in St. Paul. In 348 snow in Minneapolis. Many cities in snow emergencies. You can check WCCO.com for rules about your community. Take a look at this. A Pepsi's truck is stuck on Highway 62 and Lindale Avenue. It's on the westbound crosstown. Snowplow just got there, cleared a path around the truck, and now they're working on getting that out. This ramp is very slippery, so this was totally snow covered. You can see there's another semi hung up there. We've been watching this Pepsi truck kind of rock back and forth, trying to move along that ramp. Also want to point out, look at the crosstown, how slowly that is moving right there. You can see folks just a crawl right now. Here's what happened. We had rain yesterday, which froze, created a sheet of ice like a skating rink on our roadways. Add snow on top of that, plus the snow is blowing around, and it's really difficult driving. But thank goodness we have our mobile weather watcher, because Rachel Slavic is out there live this morning. It's equipped for this sort of drive and this sort of weather. So Rachel, what are you feeling?
Well, we've been all over the metro, as you know, this morning, south, east, and north. And I will say that some of the worst travel conditions we've run into in the last half hour or so. Let me give you a live look. Right now, we're near Crystal, heading on 100 South. And I will tell you that this road is just like a skating rink. We're actually on 694 from about Maplewood all the way till Brooklyn Park, and got off of 694 because that was so slippery. And now here at 100 isn't much better. So you see that traffic is picking up. We're going about 20 miles per hour, and sometimes the car feels like it's slipping and sliding a little. So the good news is we're seeing a lot of people take their times, Still a lot of spin outs out here, so just make sure you're safe. Obviously, as we've been talking about, those side streets aren't great either.
All right, Rachel, thank you very much. Good job out there giving us that firsthand look of the roads. The road crews have been working nonstop since the snow first started flying, trying to make it so we can get to work in a safe manner. It's a rough task out there. Mark Fischbach is with MnDOT. He's live with us this morning out at their headquarters. Mark, tell us, what are conditions like for snowplow drivers this morning?
Our crew's been battling with heavy wet snow since noon yesterday. Right now we have icy road conditions. Majority of the main line is free of snow. We're dealing with drifting issues throughout the night on ramps, and especially in the rural areas on our main line. The winds gusts been up to 30 plus miles an hour, so drifting's been an issue out in the rural metro.
I feel like the ramps are going to be the hardest thing for people today. Some of those ramps go uphill or there's a deep curve, and for a lot of cars, they're just not going to have the juice to get up on the slick ramps.
We've been out sanding and salting the ramps to make them passable. The lighter vehicles, especially empty semis, are having issues getting up the ramps, but in most part, they're making it up the ramps.
Yeah, we probably won't see a ton of crashes today because people just have to move so slowly. I think it freaks people out a little bit when you see the wet road that you can't quite tell. Is it a sheet of ice? Is it just wet from melting?
You know, traffic is moving along at a slow speed, but it's a steady speed. I'm looking at 35E in St. Paul here going into downtown, and the traffic flow is pretty steady, so they're getting to their destination.
Well, Mark, we know there's going to be a shift change soon out there. We really appreciate all of the plow drivers. We know it's a dangerous job, and thank you for being out there overnight and this morning.
Thank you.
The snow is the likely culprit behind tens of thousands of power outages in Minnesota and Wisconsin. An electrical transformer explosion was caught on camera. This happened in southwest Rochester right when the power outages started to happen in the area. Rochester Public Utilities says power lines snapped under the weight of that heavy snow, and just wait for it. Yeah, it's John Zimmerman capturing that video of the transformer exploding. Certainly a frightening moment there in Rochester.
Scary.
Jamie, yeah, for sure. Jamie, we know that you were one of the lucky people who got to see those ice caves up in the Apostle Islands. Maybe one of the last people getting to see it this year anyway.
Well, luckily so many people did go, Jason. I talked to the National Park Service yesterday, and you have ice daggers basically hanging above your head. So they were very concerned that this type of storm could hurt somebody, and they did have to shut down the area. They say this weather could significantly also affect Lake Superior ice conditions because the ice can shift up there, making it unsafe to walk on. Park Service says that this is a temporary closing at this point, but they still aren't sure when they're going to reopen. More than 60,000 people have visited the ice caves since last month. In fact, I cannot believe this number, having gone up there myself. They broke a record with 21,000 people visiting the caves in just one weekend alone. The weekend I went up there were 5,000 people in the day, and it seemed like a tremendous amount of people for the caves. I cannot imagine 21,000. So hopefully a lot of people did get up there. This was looking like it could be a weekend that people would go. So I feel bad if you didn't get to see it, but you can check out our video at WCCO.com. Just a great time up there to see it.
Well, you told us when you did the first story, winds could be a factor in making them shut it down.
And I think that's going to happen today. And they could see a foot of snow up there.
Wow, crazy. Thanks, Jamie. Viewers have really been helping us get a closer look at exactly what's happening out there with this storm. And boy, it's been so helpful and also entertaining, right? Matt Brickman's been going through all the pictures and videos. And, sometimes this is the little moments of joy that people send us as you're dealing with a rough commute or a stuck car. And we get to see your pictures.
Yeah, and there have been a ton of great photos that have come out of this. It's one of those storms that people are going to remember, and everyone wants to kind of go ahead and take a photo to kind of keep that memory. We're getting in some great ones from you guys this morning. Let's go ahead and start out with one of them from Jeffrey Johnson in Wyoming. This is out at the airport. Now you can understand why so many flights were delayed or canceled. Almost 10 inches of snow now on the ground out at MSP International. Let's go to another one. This one from Star Tribune photographer Jefferson Wheeler. Wow, whiteout conditions, but this is actually a marriage proposal on Lake Harriet yesterday. She'll remember that day, I'm sure. Let's move along here. Cheryl from Cambridge, with all those school buses just sitting there, tons of school closings across the area. You can go to WCCO.com to see if your school is closed this morning. And some people, like Jason said, are making the most out of this as well, getting out there in the cold and enjoying this. This is Mackenzie and her grandpa in Wyoming, getting out there, making a snowman and enjoying a little bit of fun in the snow. We always love getting your pictures, and you can send them to us when it is safe to do so at photos@WCCO.com or post them on the Morning Show Facebook page.
You know my favorite kind of picture.
Patio pics.
Patio pics.
The
I love
best.
them. Send them in. Thanks, Matt. We'll stay with WCCO and WCCO.com for the latest on the biggest snowstorm of the season. So if all this weather has you feeling down, how about a warm drink with a caffeine kick? Mike mixes up the perfect pick-me-up for this weather next. Crashed ice will be taking over St. Paul this weekend. Very appropriate weekend for it. The Arctic chill is going to be spreading everywhere.
Wow, that is pretty incredible. What a sight to see. So we wanted to share another drink recipe that will warm you from the inside out.
Yeah, we're back at the Nicollet Island Inn this week, where bartender Troy Juergens is turning your morning coffee into a nightcap with some spicy cinnamon vodka.
They've got an awful lot of coffee in Brazil.
Just because you buy one particular brand's infusion of a flavor does not necessarily mean that their next flavor infusion isn't going to taste like chemical.
And vice versa. One brand's cinnamon infusion might make you gag, but another brand's might be just right. And if you're brave, you could even try making your own brand.
So have fun with it at home if you're doing it. I have a feeling that it's something that's definitely going to start permeating the cocktail culture on a personal basis.
That's what the Nicollet Island Inn did.
We infuse it. We have an infuser. We've also got cinnamon sticks continuing to infuse in this one to kind of intensify that flavor. We're doing a 3/4 shot of this.
So that brown color, but that is vodka. It's just the color of the cinnamon.
And then we're adding, to finish out the shot, a little bit of butter shots. In butter shots, it's really reminiscent in a hot drink of like that hot buttered rum type flavor.
Yep.
And then we're doing coffee with it. It's like a cinnamon breakfast coffee.
That's it. This is easy.
Coffee in Brazil.
The warm-up.
No tea, no tomato juice.
Whoa!
You'll see.
Cinnamon right off the bat, but then yes, the butterscotch toward the tail end. But it definitely is. It's as much a smell experience as it is a taste experience.
Yep. And sometimes my service is as strong as my drinks.
And you know what? You can totally conceal that. That's just coffee.
Pretty much.
That's just coffee.
That's why we put it in the footed mug.
Oh, he's a hoot.
Oh, well.
It's just coffee.
Of course it is.
Yeah, I like black coffee, so I don't like to put cream in there, and I don't really like Irish coffee for that reason. Bailey's too much like cream. So this recipe is good if you like just plain old black coffee.
It is kind of fun to have a hot drink like that does have those coffee flavors, and then, like you said, isn't all like, yeah.
And if you want to do it as a nightcap, Jamie, just make it decaf coffee.
Decaf coffee, that's it.
Or frozen coffee.
Do you think if I put some cinnamon vodka in here, do you think it would turn into like a slushy?
It's so gross.
That is pretty gross.
It's
just totally frozen. Isn't that awful?
That looks like a coffee cup that sat on somebody's desk for like a week.
All right.
Brutal.
Look,
No,
if
it's
you
just
want to
frozen.
make my recipe, go to WCCO.com/links for the recipe does not involve gross frozen coffee.
A slushy. I think a slushy would be great.
You look great, by the way, Jamie. You've been up there since 4:30. Very stylish. Got the hat, the scarf, the whole business.
You're dressed for it for sure. How does it feel?
It feels pretty awful. I'm going to be honest with you. The wind is starting to just really pick up this morning. Obviously, we had all that snow, but I think the story today is going to be that the snow is blowing around and it is very, very cold. As a matter of fact, Jason, you could maybe get me a new cup of coffee and come on up here and see for yourself.
I will do that.
You think
For
so?
you, Jamie, I will do that.
I like it.
All right, I'll be up in a couple minutes.
Thank you.
Let's go check in with Matt Brickman, who's checking in with our massive Weather Watcher network.
Yeah, and we're seeing some pretty good numbers from around the area. Huge snowfall totals and some pretty big drifts out there as well. So let's start just north of the metro. We'll actually go up to Malacca. 8.5 inches from our Weather Watcher Missy there this morning. It says the snow depth is officially up to the bottoms of the windows at our house. And if we get any more snow, the cat's not going to be able to watch out the window. So no more snow in Malacca. The cat is the priority there. Let's get another snowfall total here for you. We'll go South Metro. Let's go down to Eagan. We've got 9 inches of snow from our Weather Watcher there. Alan checking in saying that he's going to be heading off to Myrtle Beach today, away from the cold. You know what, Alan? I've heard just about enough from you. So let's get one more here. Someone that's going to be sticking around here in the miserable cold and snow here with us. We've got over a foot of snow now from our Weather Watcher Duke in Trimble, 12.5 inches, giving you a picture of what it looks like there. Yeah, just a winter wonderland. Big fat snowflakes falling and a ton of snow still on the ground. We've got 2 inches of ice and snow caked beneath all that snow as well. And the snow is super heavy to shovel, very heavy, very wet snow, Mike. And we're talking about those snow drifts out there as well.
Brick, what are we doing? Alan gets better treatment than we do. The cat gets better treatment than you and I do.
Yeah, don't rub that in our face. You go to Myrtle Beach and tell no one.
Right, exactly. And you'll like it. All right, thanks for the reports, guys. Thanks, Matt, for your help all morning. It's been great having tag team weather this morning, this big weather morning. In fact, here's the ruler in front of the slider in Independence, Western Hennepin County. Our weather watcher, Doug, measuring a drift that's at least a foot there. He's going to be definitely doing a little work, some digging out all across the region today. And as we go through the day, the winds are going to continue to blow this snow that's already on the ground around. You saw the Weather Watcher snowfall totals. Let's take you a little farther out of town, up to St. Louis County. This is the highest total I've seen so far. Alborn, 17.5 inches of snow. Poplar, Wisconsin, always a hard-hit area, 16.5 inches of snow. Embarrass, a new report, 13 inches. In Rogers, still sitting at just under a foot. An update here now as of 6 a.m. MSP, just under 10 inches of snow. And St. Cloud, 8.2. That's combining yesterday plus what fell overnight last night. So keep in mind, blowing snow, it's going to make it difficult for these great road crews to stay ahead on those roadways. They clear the road, it drifts right back over again, and that's going to be the story all day long. Also, yesterday's wet snow and rain that came before we saw that changeover created a layer of ice right under the snow, so very slippery, even slipperier than your typical morning. And the longer you wait to shovel, I think the harder it's going to become, because temperatures the next few days are going to be getting colder, not warmer. So unlike the last snowfall, which melted pretty quickly, by tomorrow, all of this heavy, wet snow is going to be frozen solid into an ice chunk as we head down close to zero later tonight. Still snowing right now in parts of the north and northeast metro. It's light, but it still could pile on a little additional accumulation. This is the area here from the North Shore to northern Wisconsin around Hayward and back toward Hibbing, that we could see an additional 1 to 3 inches of snow through the day today. It's going to become a little more patchy, a little lighter with time, but it probably won't totally wind down until later this evening. So, you know, if you're headed up to the cabin this weekend and thought maybe you would leave today, maybe tomorrow morning might be a better bet. Give those road crews a chance to clean up what falls today. Sunshine is in the picture right now across western and southwestern and south central Minnesota. That's where we'll have some of the milder temperatures. In fact, this next Arctic blast here will not quite clip southwestern Minnesota yet. Even up to the Twin Cities, you can see highs today. This is going to be the warmest area, 20 to 27. Central northern Minnesota, cold, but not as cold as what's coming in, as we see skies feature a little bit of sun about as far north and east as the I-94 corridor today. I think it's going to take until tomorrow for us to see any sun farther north. And falling temperatures will be the rule for the next week, each day stepping down a little more and a little more. That'll end us up near zero for Thursday's high. That'll be the coldest, I think, of the stretch, and we'll be below zero pretty much every night starting on Saturday night.
Oof. So goose egg on there, you throw a 0 in there for a high.
I just figured I'd mix it up a little bit.
Just put that right out there. Well, We're used to it by now. And this morning, the cold temperature is really causing trouble out on the road. So we're going to head straight to that. Thank you, Mike. Here's the crosstown right now at Highway 100. It's like a skating rink out there. This is the ramp westbound at Highway 100. Totally closed right now. You can see those vehicles are just stalled out trying to move, but it's so slippery there. It's just not happening. So what we had was rain yesterday up until even about 5 p.m. and then everything started freezing, and then we put snow on top of that. And then we had the wind, which started blowing the snow around, and it's very difficult driving. Here's a semi-stall on 94. It's a southeastbound side at 7th Street in Minneapolis. Also want to remind you, Metro Transit routes, if you want to take the bus this morning, 78% on time, about a 4-minute delay. Some traffic lights are out across the Twin Cities Metro too because we have some power outages. Let's take a look at a map though and see what's happening overall. Tons of red and yellow out there as you expected. So really at least double your drive time this morning. If you don't have to drive, don't do it. Statewide, we have a strip of purple, light purple, that is going diagonally through the state. That means difficult driving. Blue is fair driving. Dark purple here, including the Twin Cities Metro, is travel not advised. Red, roads are closed. Southbound Interstate 35 is closed from Owatonna to Iowa. Heading up to the rooftop. Look at you three up there.
We're getting in here tight. We're body heat.
The only way.
I did bring Jamie. I did bring the coffee.
Thank you.
He brought the coffee as promised. Good job, Jason.
Forgot mine, huh? All right. That's fine.
Rickman, you've had time inside.
All right. That's fine.
Just trying to help. We are here at the roof. It is cold, no doubt about it. But the weather, of course, is the only thing you really need to know. But we've somehow come up with 4 things we need to know.
Well, they're probably all a little weather related. And the president's coming to town, so we have that. We'll be right back.
Let's give you the 4 things you need to know on this snowy, frigid Friday morning. Number 1, the snow and the commute is going to be rough. The roads are covered with snow. Plows have been working throughout the night. We've been riding along with one of them in Hennepin County, battling these tough road conditions. Wind has been blowing the snow around. That is going to be the story this morning, making for very slick road conditions.
Number 2, your kids may not have school again today. We've had the delays and closures running on the bottom of your screen throughout the morning, hundreds stacking up right now. If you haven't seen your school yet, we have all the information on our website. Really easy to get to at WCCO.com. Just click on school closings.
Number 3, thousands still without power this morning, and conditions seem to be getting worse. Right now, nearly 16,000 are without power in Minnesota, about 9,000 in the Twin Cities Metro. Excel says the heavy, wet snow combined with high winds snapped trees, branches, and downed power lines.
Number 4, I hope you're not flying today or have loved ones coming in like I'm supposed to. At MSP, 57 flights canceled this morning. Another 10 have been delayed. That includes many major cities in the Midwest and several along the East Coast as well. So check with your airline. And I think this is the only place in the world where the president coming next Wednesday would be the 5th thing you need to know.
Okay. Nice. All right. Well, you know what, traffic this morning, it's just terrible. 6th and 7th and 8th and 9th. I'll tell you what, MnDOT is advising no travel in the Twin Cities Metro today. Here's why. You can see it's like an ice skating rink. This semi has been trying to get moving on the crosstown for the last almost half an hour. Really difficult driving conditions, very slippery, snow on top of that, and then it's blowing around, Mike.
Well, that snow is very heavy, too. It's weighting down the trees. That's what's been creating the power outages. And we've elevated your dad here, Natalie, to honorary weather watcher status. This is in Woodbury. Look at those trees, that birch tree, maybe snapping before
You know what?
we're
He's
done.
worried about losing it. That was quick, Mike. I just sent that to you. Wow.
Well,
impressive.
there you go. Got the direct connection.
Tom Kane will love it.
19 today. Actually, we're going to see some sun before we're done. Down to 3 tonight, so shovel that stuff up now because it's going to freeze solid later on tomorrow. 14 and breezy, guys. Back up to you on the roof. Thanks for going out in this all day for us.
No problem. Speaking of breezy, if you're downtown Minneapolis and find scripts, sorry. They've been flying off the roof all
Return them
morning.
to us.
If the stakes weren't high enough in the USA-Canada game, boy, somebody upped the ante.
Sometimes you need to make a big wager and check it out in the Chicago area. Somebody paid for this billboard.
I love it.
Loser keeps Bieber.
Go USA!
As you know, Bieber was born in Canada. There was a movement to actually send him home, to deport him.
Well,
yeah.
Here's hoping.
I like it.
Hey,
Fingers crossed.
have a great day today. Enjoy it if you get to stay home.